Hi there, it's Dan here. It's been a while since I've taken a YouTube video. Things have been really busy, so they have the past month or so. But yeah, it's super easy to say that. Life can, just get busy. So I figured while I've got some free time on my lunch here, I'll take a video and show you about Gokayama a wee bit more. I think I've done a video here before showing it about. But yeah, why not? I'm here, it's quiet. So let's get stuck in. So here we go. Just on the outside part of Gokayama, you'll see shortly. Coming up on our right, there's actually a gas show, so thatched house. And the cool thing about this one here, the one that's a lighter colour, is actually been recently done. Got to see this one get redone about a month ago. So it gives you a bit of an idea of how they're meant to look at the freshest. So a lot of a more lighter colour, more tidier cut as well. You can also see the miscanthus grass as well that was used. Show you this side as well. Yeah, pretty sweet. The cool thing about these thatched houses is getting to see the age on them. So even the one here just beyond the trees, you can see the age on it. There's quite a bit of moss. Definitely not as clean looking either. One of the wee things that's kind of kept me busy, at least most of my Wednesdays anyway, was getting the visa renewed. My wife and I doing that, so we're on a spouse visa. For any American viewers, that would be a spouse visa. Anytime I say that word to any American or Canadian guests, they always think I'm talking about spice. I'm not a spice farmer. There is no spice visa for me to use. So yeah, it's a spouse visa. Yeah, we got it renewed, and yeah, we're now up to 3 years, so that's pretty awesome. That takes a lot of pressure off, so it does. And yeah, it's just a huge weight off our shoulders getting that. It wasn't overly difficult, just a wee bit time consuming, and then just with it being our first time trying to figure out as well what exactly we needed. When we went to the immigration office, it turned out that we had prepared too much. I was just wanting to show off just a wee bit of that view there. But yeah, we had prepared too much, which isn't a bad thing. I would rather be too prepared than unprepared. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that we had sent, or well, hadn't sent it yet, a lot of the stuff that we, presented to the immigration officer person. He actually returned to us and was like, yeah, it looks like you're applying for permanent residency. Is that what you're doing? We were like, no. So yeah, still quite a while off being able to apply for that, but with the new Prime Minister, it seems like she could be increasing the 5 years that you need to live in Japan for permanent residency to 10 years. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. There's pros and cons to that, but for the likes of myself, who is definitely considering permanent residency, it's a con for me then having to wait that long, because it means spending more money and renewing the visa, which is going to increase in price too. It's going to increase from what I pay, 6,000 yen to 100,000 yen for each renewal. And living here, that would be expensive for those of you from the likes of Europe with the euro and the pound, and then from North America with, the dollar. It's going to still come across as quite cheap, but for living here, the cost of living, the taxes, and then just low salaries here, it's a lot of money. So it is, but money that would need to be spent. And even permanent residency, that'll increase to 300,000 yen. But you know what, I would just pay it naturally, because then it's done. But anyway, also kind of wanted to talk about the tour guiding job. I just need to be careful because, you know, I've got guests here. I don't want to be talking too much about my job. Just want to talk a wee bit about challenges of tour guiding. It's a great job, but it can be a hard job. It can be a difficult job. And yeah, there's a couple of my guests actually just up ahead there. Going to go up this way here. I've actually never been up this way, so I haven't. But yeah, there can be challenges to it. One of those challenges can sometimes be language barrier. So I'm not even talking, you know, between myself and the Japanese. I'm talking between myself and the guests. English language tours, you can sometimes get people that they can't understand English either at all or very much. So that can present a wee bit of difficulty, say when you've got a group of 16 and maybe you've got, I don't know, 2 people that can't understand English from one country and then another 2 people from another country that can't understand it. So there you've got a problem. I'm definitely the type that tries to do too much, so I always try to make everyone happy on a tour because it's a lot of money for a tour. But yeah, it can be difficult when trying to translate a lot of information into different languages. And then even if I'm recording my voice, it's a graveyard up there, I don't want to go up there. Even when translating my voice, my accent, translation apps are definitely not built for the Northern Irish accent, that's for sure. So yeah, that can be a challenge. The other challenge can be the gotcha person. This doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen. And the gotcha person is someone that gets a leaflet. They will then read through that leaflet and they will quiz you on it like nobody's business. And they will not care about the other people in the tour group. And even though I know my stuff and I'm very confident in what I know, you can sometimes get tripped up, especially when you're being quizzed, and then especially when you become very much aware that the person is trying to catch you out. They typically have a leaflet in front of them that they've gotten off staff, and they'll read through it and hide it. So they will, and start asking you questions that they already know the answer to because of the leaflet. So that can be frustrating. So it can, because it's saying, well, why are you asking the question you know the answer to? Who is that benefiting? So yeah, that can be tricky to deal with. Or you give an answer and then someone starts Googling it. Once again, both of those instances that I just described, they are super rare. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It has happened to me before. It's happened to my colleagues before. So it has, and it's just not a nice feeling, because it does make you doubt, why have you booked a tour if you're doing the likes of that. But yeah, that's the way people can be. But like I said, it's rare. I don't want to make it seem like that happens a lot. It is really, really rare. Another challenge in tour guiding. This only happened to me once, where someone's been very specifically rude to me. I have been sworn at before. And that wasn't nice. I am very patient and I have a lot of time for people. I think that even just comes down to my past job as well, where I needed a lot of patience, special needs teaching. But there's never an excuse to being rude to someone that you've actually even paid a service for. And on this occasion, I was actually giving them free time, and I was actually just going to buy some tickets, so I was, to get into a local garden park. And yeah, the guy started swearing at me because I hadn't already got the tickets. And there's no need to get the tickets that early. It never sells out. I mean, it is a garden. They don't put a cap on it. So they don't. And I always give free time there because, well, it allows the individuals to get a coffee, ice cream, things like that. So, yeah, I don't really know what his problem was. That was months ago. But it did happen. And it just wasn't very nice. So, yeah. Behaviour can be an issue in tours, and even though they're all adults, behaviour can be an issue. Our wee challenge can be actually babies on tour, and this isn't all the time. It really just comes down to the parents. So I've had parents that have spoken to me before the start of the tour, and they've said, look here, traveling, with baby daughter, baby son, things like that. Don't let us hold back the tour group. And you know what? See, when people are upfront like that, and they're, flexible, I genuinely appreciate that when I say have a group of maybe 16 other adults. It goes a long way when the parents aren't, wanting me to put their baby essentially first with them. Now, of course, I have a duty of care to them, and I give them that duty of care. But you can't adapt an entire tour group of other individuals that have paid the exact same amount of money around a baby and their parents. But yeah, when they're up front like that, I don't mind, taking things at a slower pace. And meeting them halfway. The times it becomes challenging is when they don't meet you halfway, which I've had happen before. I've had a larger group that brought their baby, and they did expect me to wait with the rest of the tour group when, say, their baby woke up. And this was, when I say baby, I mean less than 1 year old. That's what I'm talking when I say baby. So when their baby woke up and was unsettled, crying, the mother in particular wanted the whole tour to stop. Feeding, changing nappies, things like that. So, like I said, I am flexible and I will meet people halfway, but you can't expect an entire tour group of other individuals and, families and groups to, empathise and sympathise when it's maybe happening on a 7 to 8 hour walking tour. So yeah, babies can be challenging. And another challenge can be just a complete disregard for the local rules and culture. I actually had a recent incident of that, and it was the very first time I experienced it. This was 3 weeks ago, and it was a group of 4, and they seemed nice at the start, and then every single rule throughout the day, they basically broke. And you're probably wondering, well, what does that mean? So let's take a complete example. So let's go up this way here. Tea house. When you go into a tea house, in most cases, yes, you take off your shoes, you're going on to tatami mat. And in this particular one, we're sitting down at the tatami mats, and there's a balcony in front of you that's open. There's a wooden area, and you can walk in that wooden area, all very much common sense. But below that wooden area, there's a stone pathway, and you can't walk on that because it's all gravelly stones. Not quite like this here, but just kind of just imagine it all like stones, like that there. So it's all like that, and common sense would tell the average person you wouldn't walk on that because you've taken off your shoes and you're on socks, and then you'd be walking on it back into the tatami. So I was talking to one of the other guests, giving him my time, eye contact, things like that, so I wasn't looking out at the balcony. And one of the staff members comes over to me and says, Daniel, 2 of your guests are out of the stone area. One of them is lying up against the pagoda. So if you imagine this here as a pagoda, so literally lying butt down on the stones, back up against the pagoda, and then legs just say stretched out toward the fence area. So I was quite disgusted. and very frustrated because I built up a very good relationship with that business. The staff are lovely. I couldn't say enough nice things about them. And I just thought the disrespect that was happening was just downright pathetic. So I went out to the two fellas and I said to them, I was like, guys, look, you know you shouldn't be out here. Get back inside. No apology, nothing like that. They simply did not care. And their two wives were not really any better when it came to putting the shoes on. When leaving the establishment, there's signs everywhere saying not to take your shoes into the wooded area. You have to take your shoes off at the entranceway, all that stuff, and you have to put them on at the entranceway too. So they pick the two wives, they pick up their shoes from the entranceway and take them actually inside onto the wooded area and start putting them on. And so I walk over to them, I was like, sorry, excuse me, could you please take your shoes back to the entranceway and put them on there? I was like, there is a sitting area actually there specifically for that. I was like, I would really appreciate it. The answer I got was no from both of them. I was like, sorry, excuse me. I was like, there's signs everywhere saying not to do this, what you're doing. And I was like, the ladies that served you tea and sweets, I was like, you're not just disrespecting me, you're actually disrespecting them by doing this. I was like, just with that in mind, could you please go back down to the entranceway area with your shoes and use the sitting area there to put them on? No. Well, I could feel the blood in my face. I was getting very angry because I was just a bit disgusted by the disrespect for me to the establishment, and then of course to the other guests as well. I mean, they could follow the rules, so why could they? Why could this specific group not? This continued the entire day. Now, like I said, I won't go through all of it, but that was the first I've experienced behaviour like that. But yeah, it was an interesting day. It was a day that ended like any bad day. So yeah, bit of a long video, but just wanted to actually go over, the challenges of a tour guide. I do love this job, and it is the best job I have ever had. I genuinely love it. So much fun. You get to meet people from all over the world. So many different jobs and backgrounds. So many, interesting, nice people. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that on social media in Japan, you get to see, people maybe disregarding the rules and things like that. And I never really seen that up close. So I didn't. In that last example I did, that was me getting to see it up close. And it definitely creates an image. So yeah, just I guess do your best in Japan. Like I said, 90% of the people I have, they'll follow the rules. They'll be pleasant, so they will. And anytime anyone makes a mistake, it's just a genuine accident, which here, that is totally fine. And that is totally cool. But I guess, whatever you wouldn't do in your own country, don't do here type of mentality is the best way to move forward. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video and the walk around, and even just me kind of just chatting a wee bit and just kind of giving a peek into the tour guiding job. If you ever come to Japan, just keep in mind that you're not just limited to English language teaching. There are other options there. So thanks for watching, and of course, take care.